Hey guys, what's going on? This is Hitchy Good, and today we're going to be going over the top 5. You heard me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Battlefield 4 maps of all time. I think DICE EA desperately need to take note of their past successes in this video if they really want to even come close to bringing 2042 back from the depths of severe irrelevance. Seriously guys, y'all gotta do something more than one map and a few lackluster skins, because 2042 was just freaking pathetic.
Do it! No! Make God, your dreams please, no! Come true! No! Just no! Do it! No!
In fact, I'd say if they remaster at least 2 of these 5, it might actually get me to re-download 2042 and give it a go. I will say that this list is entirely my opinion, and considering just how great Battlefield 4 maps were, it was pretty dang hard picking out just 5. Of course, there's some I like more than others, but there's almost none that I flat out don't like. Except you, Dragon Pass, you suck. But anyways, if you enjoy this content, please consider liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications if you want to support your favorite all-American freedom-loving gamer. But for now, let's get down to the top 5 greatest Battlefield 4 maps of all time. Now, like I said, it was extremely hard to narrow down, and even putting these in an order was very difficult, as many of these maps just really depend on what mood I'm in. And you can ask any Battlefield 4 player, and all of them are going to give you a different answer, some mentioning the other's most hated map being their favorite and vice versa. But for starters, I think I'm going to have to kick things off with Goldman Railway as my number 5 pick. Goldman, a classic vanilla map, was wide open. Lots of jet play, helicopter play, and of course a massive amount of tank gameplay. I gotta admit, it seemed awesome when a few of your squad mates would hop in tanks at the start of the round and just see a whole regiment of tanks just barreling across the open fields of Goldman, cannons high, feeling like badasses. Until a jet sweat took us all out in just a couple passes, but I digress. This map still offered a decent amount of versatility when it came to gameplay. Even if you didn't care for vehicle gameplay, the northern section of the map, comprised of A, B, and C flags, offered plenty of infantry-focused action that was fast-paced and varied as tanks and jets further decimated your cover, rewarding the players that could adapt on the fly. Now, while the buildings were still standing, however, you could even hop from one building to the other, ambushing and surprising your enemies, leaving them wondering how the heck you got up there. Speaking of destruction, this map was one of the few that did not offer much in the way of levolution. But man, I gotta tell you, it was so satisfying to perfectly time one of the 21 IEDs that were placed across the map. The sound of that explosion was really unique from anything else in the game, to my knowledge, and even if you didn't hit a thing, it was still awesome to hear them go off. And with each explosive having the power of anywhere from 10 to 15 units of Jeep stuff, this made for an awesome display. In fact, it was so satisfying that Neebs Gaming actually broke a server by igniting all 21 of them at once. It's a little linear on rush game modes, but this map is still pretty dang fun nonetheless. Alright, number 4. So this one might be controversial, and probably simply depending on how your last game went on this map. If you were winning on Operation Metro, you were loving it. If you were getting railed on it, it was the worst map in the game. And unfortunately, this was often the case, as one team would eventually break through and push the other team all the way back to their spawn. But even with this drawback, Operation Metro would be a nice break from the wide open large map design of other Battlefield 4 maps. Now, I may be opening myself for scrutiny by committing the ultimate Battlefield fan sin of loving both Battlefield at times and Call of Duty with others, but this map, along with Operation Locker, served to satiate the appetite to hop on a faster-paced game such as COD, but instead stick with Battlefield 4 and play a CQB map, and then head back to the more traditionally spacious maps of BF4. It was hard choosing if I would include Metro or Locker on this list, as I didn't want to include both, but my decision was kind of based on the fact that I believe that Metro may have offered just a smidge bit more of flanking opportunities than Locker did. Even on paper, they are pretty much the same, but it often seemed that if I tried to flank on Locker, I was more often than not met with a prone sniper, hard scoping, and virtually invisible to the naked eye, and I'd get instantly gunned down, as my primary would be ultimately geared for more CQB play than long range. So with Metro, you didn't run into that quite as often, I don't think. Find the enemy sleeping on a particular flank, sneak by, let your squad mates spawn on you, and let the back rage begin. Was it a cluster of grenade spam, RPGs, and all-out chaos? Well, hell yeah, that's exactly what it was. But dang, sometimes that's just plain fun. Also to note, there's not much levolution here other than the ceiling giving way in a few places, but It's still a really fun map that offered a break in the gameplay of the more traditional Battlefield-style maps. Onward to number 3, Zvon 311. This map was offered to us from day one and was extremely well balanced. You could focus all your attention on the highly contested C and D maps for some fun CQB. You could climb on top with a sniper or DMR and pop off at advancing enemies underneath, or you could drive any assortment of armor that you wanted, even the missile truck. Fortunately, this map had a balanced amount of vehicles that were enough to be effective, but not so much as to be dominant. If your team turned their ire towards a particular tank or LAV, it didn't stand a chance, as long as you worked together. Alternatively, if you're in a tank, played smart, and advanced along with your infantry, you could really rack up some kills fast. And even better, I'm going to include what really made this map fun, and that was Zvon 311
at night.
This was legitimately fun. You either ran your regular sights and risked not seeing enemies in the shadows, or actually being able to see your enemy and hurt your peripheral vision by equipping a nighttime scope. Either way, they really made this map beautiful at night, and it felt truly authentic as a nighttime skirmish. You'll probably remember that you could trigger this map's evolution by kicking off the warhead timer right there on the C flag. It'd count down for about 3 minutes and then set the warhead off, taking down the smokestack, opening up the C building stairs to assault from the south, and taking out the crosswalk from the top of the C and D buildings. It seemed that holding these 2 points were crucial to success considering their proximity towards one another. But even if you were getting railed, it was always fun to head to the enemy's gimme flag and wreak havoc for as long as you could from behind enemy lines. There were times we could spend over half the map burrowed into the F point tower and just stealing LAVs. It was hilariously fun. He couldn't get us out. It'd be a lot of fun just keep our whole squad just spawning on each other, just dug in like ticks. So for number 2, you know, it's odd that as much as I like vehicle gameplay, I really appreciated some of these more infantry-focused maps, and I really think it's because it broke up the monotony and routine running large-scale, long-range maps that Battlefield 4 is famous for. That being said, Pearl Market seemed to scratch that itch on every occasion, and it did so in a little bit different manner than Operation Locker did. A less linear infantry-focused map allowed for all sorts of flanks to redirect enemy attention away from hotly contested points, such as the oh-so-fun and chaotic E flag. One troop transport, specifically designed for anti-infantry combat, really did bring a substantial threat to whichever flag it decided to show up to, and if not dealt with quickly, could squad wipe everyone off the map. And in a map that was geared more towards assault than engineer, your team really would need to work together to take this big old girl down. This map offered a lot of verticality and options to attack your enemy, but enough hallways and corridors to kind of keep from getting beamed from every single direction at every single moment. This was brilliantly designed by EA. And now, for the grand finale, what you've all been waiting for. The number 1 undisputed and totally fact-based and not just my opinion Battlefield 4 map of all time is Caspian Border.
Caspian Border! We're gonna do this!
This map, in my opinion, offers a little bit of everything. The beautiful fall colors look much nicer than just the green of Battlefield 3's original version. There's plenty of tank, jeep, aircraft, and infantry play available here. One update to this map was completely changed. Was the massive wall spanning the entire length of the map. This took a wide open map and implemented just a few choke points to get through, forcing caution when charging to the other side. While the wide open atmosphere offered a lot in the terms of tank gameplay, the middle flag at D was one of the most fun points to take or defend in the entire game. That's mostly because you had options as to how to assault the flag. Being at the top of the mountain, the enemy had the high ground, but the attacking force had a multitude of different angles to attack from, offering a fairly balanced scenario, especially when you mix in the underwater tunnel that you just had to know exactly where it was to dive to, and then also another path through the massive tower once it had fallen. This was also an awesome part of Levolution that just looked amazing and offered a decent change to the gameplay as well. All you had to do was go down in this bunker to Hunter Biden's laptop down there that was conveniently left open to the public or whoever wanted to use it to completely level the tower above. And once down, it also offered more cover for infantry on the other side of the wall as well. Unlike many of 2042's maps, Caspian Border has just enough cover for infantry to combat tanks and each other, but not too much to bottleneck armor. This was a truly brilliant design from DICE back when player feedback meant more and the industry was run by other gamers, not just corporate suits and ties. So, there y'all have it, my top 5 Battlefield 4 maps. I'll tell you, there's so many outside of this list that I really genuinely do enjoy. And I'm sure that there's more than a few that you think that I missed, so comment in the comments section below and let me know what I got wrong and what your favorite maps were and why. Don't forget to like and subscribe to your favorite All-American Freedom-Loving Gamer. Hit you good. God bless and happy gaming.